Hello, everybody. Ella J here on behalf of WrestleZone, and today I'm joined by the energy drink king, Vinny Pacifico. How are you today?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You are actually my first recorded interview in the year of 2024. So
Nice.
I am super excited to be chatting with you today. I don't get to talk to a lot of the male wrestlers. So this is an exciting chat I have planned for today. And it is a
Hell
new
yeah.
year with new opportunities. But before we discuss some of the present day stuff, I wanted to reel it back a little bit to a couple
hmm
weeks ago when you spent your holidays in Japan for the Independent Junior Heavyweight Festival. This trip also marked your official debut in Japan. So
hmm
tell us about some of your takeaways from this experience from a wrestling standpoint.
Wrestling standpoint, I really enjoyed my time in Japan. Everyone there is very, very welcoming, very nice, and everyone wants to work together to make the show as amazing as possible. I noticed that in Japan, it's very traditional to really just everyone just super calm, relaxed. I know sometimes on the indies in America, it's a lot different, but in
Yeah.
Japan, everyone's calm, relaxed, very helping, very giving out snacks. You know what I mean? It was very, 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 very cool. Um, got to speak to Taka Michinoku a lot. He was very cool. A lot of people out there were uh just so welcoming, and like I said, eager to teach, eager to help, and the crowd was phenomenal. Um, and other than that, I had the best time in Japan. I'm looking forward to going back.
Well, we look forward to that. Hopefully, we get you back over there soon. And I know you said that you learned a lot while you were over there. So,
Yeah.
can you tell us some of the things that you learned about yourself or about wrestling through your time in Japan?
Wow, that's a very good question. I learned that I am very adaptable. You know, I could adapt to certain things that you would not see coming in wrestling, and I'm very fortunate to be trained that by Cheeseburger and Delirious, John Gresham. Throughout the years, they really railed that into me. Learn how to do things on the fly, learn how to um, work with anything. You know, work when you don't even know what's going. Like, you know what I mean? Just to be completely in work mode at all times, and know how to adapt. So I was able to adapt to certain things that I was very fortunate to, and yeah, and I learned I'm very good at traveling because it was very weird to get around at first, but I got it pretty quick. The food was phenomenal. Like I posted about it constantly. The food in
Yeah.
Japan is just they do food right. They
Okay.
have these gummies, probably the
Oh,
best I've ever had in my life. They do candy and they do food better than America. I gotta say.
I was going to ask you because I was looking through you. Luckily, thank you for making a kind of a highlight reel on your Instagram so people can go back and
Mm-hmm.
see that. I mean, there was a lot of not only food, but a lot of like pop culture and
Yeah.
anime stuff there that I thought was really, really cool. So I wanted to talk about some of those aspects. You obviously had some time to explore the scenes out there. So tell us about
Mm-hmm.
some of the culture and the food in Japan that really stood out to you, besides obviously the great snacks.
It was so cool. So, like, I'll tell you what, in Japan, it's custom to slurp your ramen and your food, right?
Mhm.
Showing appreciation to the chef. So I was sitting eating, and people are slurping around me. I'm like, in New York, this is never gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was talking to Cheeseburger. I'm like, hey, like, and I googled it, making sure, like, and that's how I'm doing it, like, just to show appreciation. But it was pretty funny, but just very relaxed and calm. Like, if you ever go to New York or New Jersey, everyone's very amped up and
Yes.
going. He in Japan, everyone's cool, calm, collected, willing to help you get around as well. Like, oh, you need help, go with this. You know what I mean? It was very, very cool. The food, like I said, ramen. I didn't have sushi, and I am so upset. But next time, definitely. But I had some really good steak. Steak was bar none. Um, we went to Mr. Danger's restaurant. He's a Japanese deathmatch legend, and he gave me some welcome gifts. He gave me these cards as a welcome gift to Japan.
Yeah, I
It was
heard you
really
talking
cool.
about them.
It was really, really cool. It was really nice. Sorry. It was really fun. Really, really cool. Really sweet guy. Um, Oh, so, like, as you know, I'm sponsored with Gfuel as a part of my wrestling
Yes.
character. I do this character with energy drinks, and I got signed by Bang Energy, and so Bang went out. They had a lawsuit, so I had to drop the sponsorship.
Yeah.
2 days later, G Fuel signed me, and G Fuel is very anime driven, superhero driven, gaming driven, and I'm not. I'm a gamer here and there, but Japan is very big with anime. So I tried to
Yes.
like look at it and see like try to learn a little bit about it because again, G Fuel gave me the opportunity to bring my character into their sponsorship and all that stuff. So intertwine wrestling and energy drinks. So it's like I want to give back, at least have some knowledge on gaming and anime. So I did as much as I can. I was not very knowledgeable. It's very hard to understand the anime. I mean, it's very very cool. They have Naruto flavors and stuff like that, but it was very interesting to see and very cool to see the different like stuff. Godzilla, I'm a big fan of, but anime wise, it was kind of hard to like understand certain things. But I really did, and I enjoyed it. I want to know more about it and learn more about it.
I noticed you obviously had some G Fuel in Japan. How in depth did you get into the G Fuel in Japan? Did you try multiple of them?
So I'll tell you what happened. Um, as you know, my wrestling character is energy drink king.
Yes.
But legally, I'm not allowed to use any other energy drink anywhere because
Ah,
that's the part of my deal. You know, we're
yeah,
sponsoring you.
yeah,
Your gimmick is energy drinks, but since you're with us, you can't promote any other energy drink,
yeah.
and that's fine. That's a part of the deal. It's fine. I love it, and it's a great brand. But so I had my G Fuel manager send out a crate of G Fuel to Japan for me, so that when I got there, I would have it for my match, for the entrance, for the
Yeah.
promo, stuff like that. And so we did, and also for the locker room, and like I wanted to keep like six to myself, but then the 30 other ones go to the wrestlers, the
Yeah.
whatever. Turns out I was smart. I packed like five in my carry on of G Fuel. I said, God forbid, you never know what happens if my shipment didn't come. It said it came, but like it didn't come. Say it didn't come, whatever. So I brought five G Fuels with me in the on the plane, on my in my carry on, and I got there, and it turns out they left the G Fuel somewhere that they didn't have it. So all right, thank God I at least have five for my character stuff,
Yeah.
for the match, for like promos, for pictures, for everything, my entrance. So thank God that I brought it with me because that would have been pretty bad if I didn't, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I could still wrestle, I could still do my thing without energy drinks, but like it's a part of my character. So
That's
I
your essence, Vinny. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
thank God I'm smart there for
Oh,
once.
I'm curious if they had different. I don't even know. Like, did they have actually G Fuel like in maybe that's a dumb question, but did they have G Fuel like in Japan?
I didn't see any.
Okay.
They had a lot of Monster and Celsius. I noticed.
Celsius. I'm so sorry. Don't
You
at
like
me.
Celsius?
Yeah, I love
No, it's
Celsius.
fine. It's okay. Celsius is definitely it's a good drink. It's
Yeah.
fun to drink.
Yeah. Well, luckily you came prepared, and luckily
Yeah.
none of them. I'm curious, do you have to pack them a certain way so they don't like accidentally burst open? Because I would be so anxious.
Oh my
Maybe have them in
gosh.
a bag. I don't know.
I had
How
a
do you
belt with me
pack
too.
them? Yeah.
So I was worried. I had a belt with me, and the belt is sharp, so who knows if it would have cracked it. Thank God didn't happen. But I didn't really. I packed everything first, and then the G Fuels I fit in the cracks. You know what I mean, in the holes where I
Okay.
could. But yeah, no, it was so cool. I'm telling you, like that trip was just it went. It couldn't have gone better. And it was just again the people, just the fans, they loved the energy drink stuff too. Like in matches with new fans and stuff, I like to
Yeah.
introduce the drink by like in the comeback, drink it, or drink it in the beginning and do some cool stuff. They loved it. They were like really getting behind that character work, and yeah. So it was a very cool opportunity for myself, and I was very blessed to be there.
Well, there is a man who I think you mentioned earlier who is no stranger to wrestling in Japan, and you were actually once slated to wrestle him, but then he ended up getting pulled from the event. We're talking about Jonathan Gresham, who
Oh
you
my
were
gosh, yes.
initially set to face at Vacation Land in late 2021. You cited
Mm.
Gresham as one of your biggest inspirations of your career. So can you talk about how he specifically inspires you and some of the influence he's had on you?
So he helped train me at Ring of Honor, and we had
Yeah.
some really deep talks. Um, like we had some like life talks where we'd sit down in a chair, just talk about life and like relationship advice and just like life advice, and just a guy who was just such a cool dude. He was so open to giving me advice and so open just to sit down and just talk. Like usually when you talk to someone um training you and stuff like that, you want to like not bother them. You want to just at
Yeah.
first. He sat me down and we just talked for like 2 hours about stories and like relationship advice and life advice and wrestling advice as well, and just a bunch of really cool stuff. And he's a sweetheart and somebody who I talk to all the time. And to learn from him in wrestling as well has been such an honor because, bar none, I would say top five in ring talents in the world.
I'm curious from a wrestling standpoint, working so closely with him, what aspects of, I don't know, his character, his in-ring stuff have you kind of absorbed and maybe try to translate into your own work?
So I've learned a lot of technical stuff from him.
Yeah.
I don't use it all the time. I use it in matches that like the guys I wrestle are very, very technical. Also, like I like to save them for certain matches because as wrestlers, you want to save certain things for certain matches. But I've learned a lot of in-ring technical stuff from him. But also, if you notice, he has this really smooth way of working, as well as someone I mentioned to somebody. I had this talk the other day about smoothness. John Morrison. If you watch John Morrison, he's just so smooth, and the way he moves is just like no other. So I would like to say John Morrison and John Gresham are two guys who just move a certain way that if you watch them, you're like, this is just cinema, as they say. But no, this is just amazing. It's just like I watched John Morrison and Vikingo a few weeks ago at Pandemonium Pro. I was in LA and I watched that match from backstage and I was like, this match is just so good. The way they're moving, the way they're dodging each other's moves and just like strikes and stuff was just bar none phenomenal match. If you haven't seen it, look out for it because it's really, really good. And yeah, so John Gresham is somebody also very intense.
Yeah.
I am known to be a very intense talent in the ring, and I get my intensity from him mostly. Him and I had some really good like training sessions where he went out of me.
Now, do you have a promo coming out with John this week, John Morrison?
I
That
do,
we
and I am
okay.
very excited for that one. Was just so I have like I do these promos, right?
Yes.
And like they're vignettes with other talents. They're pretty much they're backstage segments. I like whatever you call them, right? And it gets over the character, gets over both of us, and like intertwines characters. And I did a few weeks ago, and then John Morrison was like, "Oh, you have like that belt's pretty sick. I have like a drink belt, right? Like the
Yeah.
what's his name, Duffman
Yeah.
from Simpsons." So you're like, "That's really cool." Like, he's like, "Do you do content with that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And then I was like, "Do you want to like?" He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So he was the coolest guy like to do that with. He was so much fun too. Like he was so like bouncing ideas off him was so much fun. You know what I mean?
He
And
has
he's done this
acting
stuff before.
experience in Hollywood and all that stuff. So he lives in LA. So yeah.
Yes, phenomenal, phenomenal. And I think it's hilarious. I'm posting it probably tomorrow, and it's just I'm getting it edited because there's a few things that I want to like add in there because it's really fun. But he was such a pro outside the ring, and a really genuine, good person to talk to. He was smiling, he was happy, he was very, very, very cool guy.
Yeah, I've met him before. He's one of my, I would say, top 10 all-time favorite
Yeah.
wrestlers. So he's a cool dude from the one interaction that I've had with him. He seems like a chill dude. And like you said, he has that background in LA.
Mm-hmm.
He's done films and like improv and all that stuff. So we look forward to this is gonna be coming out next week. So it'll already be out at the point that this interview gets released. So if you're listening to this, go check out the promo that Vinny shot with John. We look
Yes.
forward to seeing that. Besides Jonathan and John Morrison, who are some other performers that you look up to within the realm of wrestling?
So Brian Danielson, somebody that I've mentioned
Yeah.
many times. I can't say enough. Like he is, like I said, when I was 13 or 14, I went to a meet and greet. He was just like, chase your dream, do it, and that was it. That was it. I was like, okay, now I know. Because I just, I fell in love with him once I watched him and Randy Orton wrestle in Buckley Center in like 2012 or 13. I remember it was a live show and he gave me a high five and I was in the audience. I was very young, but I remember clear as day where it was just like, damn, that guy is cool. I love this guy,
Yeah.
And as a person, you see in interviews, you see how he is. I met him a few times at AEW.
Yeah.
He's a very, very cool guy. And someone who's down to earth and someone who wants to help others and make wrestling better. That's something that I love so much is people who are good people and they want to make wrestling better. Because as you know, I'm sure could be assholes.
Yeah.
So I love surrounding myself around people who are good people and people who want to make wrestling better and be a positive light. That's all I want to be. I want to be a positive light in pro wrestling and just make people feel good when they're around me and enjoy their time around me because that's what it's about.
From what I've seen, we have not met in person before
Mm-hmm.
this, but I have people who we kind of have some mutual connections, and I've only heard good things about
Thank
you. And
you.
you obviously
Awesome.
seem like you're a very charismatic individual, obviously with your character, but it's not really a character. I feel like it's a part of who Vinny is, in real life. So
It
and we
really
can see
is.
that translated. And it's crazy if I've got this correct, 2024 is actually your 10-year anniversary since your debut.
Yeah, like I started training around this time. Then I had like a
Okay.
match. Yes, but yes, I would say maybe 8, 9, maybe closer to 10, but like in that
Okay.
realm, in that area.
Yeah. But I mean that's such a milestone, for
Mm-hmm.
you. You've been here for almost a decade now. How do you
Mm.
think that you've grown as a person and as a competitor
Oh
throughout
my
all these
god.
years?
Oh, great question again. Yeah, so I would tell you my best. I don't know. I was thinking about this today earlier. I'm like, damn, my story is crazy. Like 2021, 2022 was always like uphill, meeting people, getting
Yeah.
better, growing this character. So like I would say EC3 is somebody who drilled my character out of me. Because for a long time, I would not show personality as much as I
Yeah.
had. He would always say, "You have the it factor, but I can't put a finger on it yet. But you have it." I was like, "Oh, thank you very much," whatever. But eventually, he called me one day. Him and JC, they called me. They're like, "No, this is what you are. This and like you're energetic. You are super charismatic. This is you. Like you have to use this." Like I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." Like energy drinks, you drink 3 of them a day. Bring it into your character. Why not? I said, "You know what? I'll try it." Immediately started doing the promos. Started cutting promos, like training with him, like practice promos. I sat in the office with EC3 and a few other guys, 2 hours, 3 hours cutting promos back and forth, boom, boom, boom. And it was just like getting better and better and better. And the promos were so funny and the character was just coming together so nice. And literally in that week I was there, this Power Punch character just came about. And it just, so at first I started coming out with the drink, I had the whatever shirt I had on, like
Mm.
whatever I had, but like I'll go to the ring, whatever. And then eventually I started translating it to the promos, to my new look, to the shirt, to the belt, to more promos backstage with talent and myself and just vignettes and funny stuff. And then out of nowhere, I used it in the ring first time at DOA. I used the drink and my comeback like Popeye, and 3 days later, bang, me contract. So and then that's when things were like, wow, okay, now you're on the map. Bang
Yeah.
signed you to a deal. That's something special. That's something that's due. So from there, like Kurt Angle gave me an interview, Gangrel gave me an interview on
Yeah.
their podcasts, and Road Dogg. So that's when things started going more and more. And then New Japan booked me, and then I did then I did some energy drink stuff on the New Japan show. So even more and more stuff started building and building and building. And then Gfuel signed me because like bang. So like just seeing the progression of the character and the how I grew as a person as well, and becoming more aware of these things. It's just ultimate a limited amount of growth it's been. And I am so blessed to be able to be in the spot that I'm in right now with like this character and how it's really unfolded. I was for years I just did not know, and a lot of young guys like, I probably agree with me. They don't know what character they are. They don't know what
Yeah.
route to go. Face this. They don't know what to do. But I'm telling you, like it will click. And for me, it took somebody to help me, but it like to make me realize it. But once it clicked, that was it. You know what I'm saying? I could do a promo. 99% of the promos I've done online on the fly, first take. That's it. So that's how this character has really been. I one take. That's it, and it's gotten really good feedback. So I'm very, I love the character. I believe in it. It's me, and I'm excited to see how it'll grow.
You're obviously very comfortable in front of a camera too as well. Obviously the character, took some time to kind of build and
Mm,
evolve into and become comfortable with that. Have you always been comfortable in front of a camera, or where did this
mm,
on-screen presence
mm.
develop for you?
So I mean, as a wrestler, you got to be okay being from the camera.
Yeah.
You know, in trunks or whatever. You got to always be ready to like, okay, I'm being seen. But for me to just be this funny and just do things that are just like I did a promo recently in an arcade where I'm running through the arcade pushing buttons like a clown, and people are looking at me like I have 10 heads in there. There were like a few people in there watching me do this, but it's for the content. You got to do it right.
Yeah.
But but you got to be able to peel back your skin a little bit and just kind of do things that like you feel a little embarrassed doing, but it's like Eugene or a character like that's like you don't feel comfortable doing as much or things you don't
Mhm.
feel like ready. You know what I mean? You got to be adaptable, And this character, will bring that out of me where it's like, okay, this is different for me, but it's me in a sense, just being me times 10, you know? Like the clown, you gotta be able to like be ready to be a clown at any moment, I'm not saying, I'm not comparing the
Yeah.
two characters, but I'm saying like, you gotta be able to be yourself as a human and then turn yourself into Power Punch or, yourself into Undertaker, Dead Man. You gotta be able to turn the switch on from as a human being to your character. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I found. It's a switch. You got to be able to, in a minute, be ready to just be the character. Like I said, Undertaker, great example.
Yeah.
Undertaker, Randy Orton. You ever see Randy Orton's face? I love Randy Orton. I know you love Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I love him to death too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Love Randy Orton. But you could see, you could see him as like a regular person, whatever. And then when he's ready to be like the Viper,
Yeah.
you see it in his eyes. You know it. You know it's there.
Yeah.
Boogeyman. All these characters. It's just a switch sometimes, and it's just amazing to see.
Well, 17-year-old Vinny once wanted to play a character as a florist.
Oh my
You
gosh.
recently shared a clip from a short film that you did when you were 17 years old where you wanted to become, or your character wanted to become a florist. So, can you give us some more details about this short film and just more of the backstory to it?
Yeah. There's literally there's no backstory whatsoever of this. It was
Okay.
literally like Vinny, I think this is really funny. You should just do this. And honestly, it shows like I could be charismatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was just filmed in my mom's house. You know what I mean? It was so there was no point or meaning to it. It was just a funny thing to do, and he posted it and he edited it and made it really funny. Everyone at the time when I was like, at the time on Facebook, everyone was raving about it, thinking it was laughing at it, all that stuff. But then I got a message yesterday on my Facebook. Hey Vinny, I watched Flowers for Peter. I was like, oh, that's a long time ago. In my head, we're gonna be showing this at a local bar on the TV screen, and I'm like, whoa, that's weird. That's funny. And I went back and watched it, and I was like, this is just so. I forgot how funny this was. So I wanted to share that little clip because it's something just stupid, funny, something that is actually kind of hilarious in my opinion. I just wanted to share again.
So did you kind of maybe you improvised it or did you actually take some preparation into like I don't into floral culture and all of
I'll tell you
that?
what. I'll be honest. It was like all on the fly, pretty much. It was just like
Okay.
what they would ask me. Like he would ask me questions, and I'd be like, like Jay George filmed it. He's great editing,
Yeah.
filming. He's phenomenal. One of the best I've. He's great. Like behind the camera and in the ring, but behind the camera, he's a
Yeah.
genius. But yeah, no, he. Oh, what do you think about that? And I was like, I would just do it. And it was just we went to the flower shop, we went to this other flower shop, went to Home Depot. It was just a whole day's worth of just like nonsense, but it came out really funny, I think. And I just wanted
I
to share that.
I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
that maybe that was an underlying aspiration of yours was to be a florist. I don't know, maybe it's
Yes,
in your
I mean I love
future.
flowers. I love flowers.
Mm. What's your favorite flower?
I didn't say it in the video either. Um, I like peonies
Okay.
or roses. I remember in the video he asked me, I didn't answer it.
You're like, I can't pick. They're all, they're all special.
I do,
I'm
but
curious.
yeah, flowers are pretty.
I'm curious for you, florist aside. What were your career aspirations growing up? Was it always wrestling, or what did little Vinny envision the older version of himself doing?
That's like a first. I played football. Like I said, I quit
Yeah.
football to wrestle. Like in freshman year of high school, I started wrestling, but I played football forever. So I wanted to be a quarterback. I wanted to play football and just be one of the best quarterbacks there are. Like just like make it the NFL and do all this stuff. But like wrestling passion took over really quick for me. I
Yeah.
really got passionate quick about wrestling. I was like, I love this. I want to do this. This is what I want to do. And then I quit football because wrestling is my ultimate dream. I wanted to do something with what did I want to do? Football, obviously. I wanted to do like marine biologists. Like I love sharks and like dolphins. I wanted something like that. And I was like, yeah, I'd rather do something physical because I'm very active,
Yeah.
And then I was like, but I always 2007. I love wrestling. 2006, watching wrestling, just enjoying it, watching it on TV. And I was like, I'm gonna try. I want to do this. And then once I got in the ring and felt the ropes and all that stuff, that was it. Everything changed.
Yeah, I mean, you've had this on this path. I feel like you seem like you've always been a physical person, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
with football and in all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
we mentioned this short film. I'm curious, do you have any other notable non-wrestling related projects that you've been involved with either now or in the past?
I mean, I got to be a part of a movie premiere earlier last year. That's not wrestling. I mean, I would say that like Gfuel signing me was. I mean, it has to do with wrestling, so I guess that's
Yeah.
and bang. Like, I mean, it's the only reason I have it is because wrestling. So,
Yeah.
no, I mean, other than those few things, that's really it. Outside of like playing quarterback on a football team, winning a Super Bowl once. I was in the news like when I was like 6. I saved my mom's friend's son came over our house and I rescued him from drowning. So
Wow.
that was something I did like that's non wrestling and something cool. Yeah, I've had a pretty wild life.
Yeah.
But I love to help people. That's something about me. I love to be someone who helps people out because at times when you need help and no one's there for you, you got yourself, and I don't I want to be someone who could help people out.
Yeah, and I know you're one who isn't afraid to ask for advice and do
Mm-hmm.
networking with people, whether it's at a wrestling event, conventions, or all of that.
So important.
I'm curious, what has been your maybe most memorable networking or first meeting experience, whether it's been at a convention or wrestling show or other professional event?
So through this character, people have come up to me and been like, "Oh, like this character is like pretty different. I kind of like it." Like Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy, he's somebody who believes in the character, loves the
Yeah.
character. Did a promo with me as well on the fly outside a wrestling show. It
That's
was awesome.
awesome. Now, did you have the mic come down?
No, I
Oh,
wish I had the drink come down maybe.
damn. Yeah. Oh,
But no,
yeah, yeah.
we were outside, and his idea was like, "Yo, we gotta do this like a raw promo, like backstage raw segment." I was like, "Oh, let's do it." He says, "No planning, just do it." And it's in my Instagram highlights. I think one of the
Yeah.
most fun ones ever. He is so charismatic and amazing. He is so supportive as well. Someone also as well as Tommy Dreamer, somebody who also has understand the gimmick. Like he had me on the Busted Open Radio and we discussed things like that as well. But I did a promo with him and that was just so much fun. Like getting to do these promos with people that like growing up watching is just so cool and you get to learn different things about them as people and characters and just find out how my character worked with them. So that's some really really cool stuff I've learned in terms of like doing stuff with them. But advice wise, like I said, Gangrel is someone who's always willing to give advice to people and just help people out. And just, I love Gangrel to death. Road Dog as well. We've always had good times meeting each other. Always very positive, always very welcoming. Bobby Fish to the seminar and he went an extra hour long. So like these people are just trying to help and make wrestling better, and I love that. Like I said, I want to mention Road Dog again. I met him years ago, but the first time we met, I did a match and he watched it and and he never forgot that match, even to this day. So that's very, very cool on just to hear that and see that I did something that makes someone remember that. Um Gabe Sapolsky as well is somebody who loves to help wrestling out and be a
Yeah.
positive light in wrestling. So these people are people that you should go up to and talk to and ask questions to because they're good people and they want to help people out. And that's people you should want to be around in wrestling, not people who want to gatekeep and be pieces of shit.
Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, there's so many.
Mm.
Yeah, we kind of alluded to this earlier. Some people are assholes, but
Yeah.
it's kind of finding your footing in there and not being afraid to introduce yourself to people. And obviously, that
Hmm.
has worked out to your benefit
Yeah.
so far and
Mm.
created a bunch of cool opportunities. And specifically with promos, I know you've filmed a lot of them. In an ideal world, if you had an unlimited budget, what would be your dream promo? What would your dream promo setting look like? And who would you have involved in it?
I mean, who would be my dream promo to do it with? If I was on a show with a bunch of people and I had the chance to do it with anybody. Uh I would definitely say I could see something funny being with Brian Danielson because he's funny without even trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's something to do with John. I think it's something to do with John Cena, of course, because he's like one of the top promos in the world, and I
Mhm.
feel like having to work. Again, I love the promo game, so
Doing
having to
a floating energy drink
you
because
already got the that's an idea already. That's an idea I already had.
Yeah, yeah.
That was probably coming this in the next week. But
Okay.
you heard it here already. No,
Okay.
I actually am working on that already. I was actually working on one of those things actually with my ideas. But it's funny you mentioned that because it's literally an idea I had. No, but yes, Cena's a insane promo. Like he could hang with anybody. Boogeyman again, somebody who I think's crazy good promo wise, and just like a character you want to work with in terms of like just like learning how to like adapt to a different character. So yeah, I like to adapt, learn, and just do really cool things, and just everybody like that I've gotten to do them with has been just a cool experience. Even people have asked me to do them with them. You know, like some
Yeah.
people, it's really cool to like get asked, like, "Hey, Vinny, I see you doing these promos. Want to do it with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And lately, it's been happening more often than not. So it's very cool to see it catching fire and getting really over. But yeah, like I said, the opportunities to help each other grow, help me, help the person I'm with, the character, our character, and just create fun content for fans to watch and enjoy. You know?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, you do it for the gram, but also like it's really fun for you, and it
Yeah,
helps with your sponsorship, but it also there's like multiple benefits to it.
everything. Yep.
I feel like it sharpens your sword too,
Mm-hmm.
with your not that you have any issues with your promo work. You're very great at
Thank
speaking
you.
in what you do. Final question for you now. We're now here in 2024. It doesn't feel like a real year. I'm still writing
Mm.
2023 on my things.
Yeah. Oh my
What
God.
are some of
Same.
your personal and professional goals for 2024 specifically?
I want to be on TV a lot more. Whether it's I get signed is definitely a goal all wrestlers have. So that's something I want. Work on TV a lot more. Work with the best talent in the world. Um, be in the best shape physically possible. Stick to my diet that I've created myself over the last few months. I created a diet plan that works for me, and I want to stick to it to a T. I've been really good at it lately, but I want to stick to it all year. Um, and definitely just keep doing what I'm doing. When I want to go back to Japan again. I want to work in Canada again. Canada's again beautiful country. I've been there 3 times and I loved it each time. And it just looks like it's just like so fake. It looks so fake how beautiful it is. You know what I mean? It's just so beautiful. Mexico's a goal of mine as well. And just keep doing what I'm doing. Get these promos to be something special. Keep growing with the company of Gfuel. Keep getting keep I want to get my own drink. That's something my own flavor. That's something that's could be possibly done, and I'm working on
Mhm.
things. And yeah, just keep growing this character, make it an empire. I'm ready. I feel like I'm close to it, but I want to make this Power Punch character a complete empire, and I'm very excited. I have a lot of really cool opportunities coming up over the next few months. It's the opportunities that I've been given. I can't get into them fully, but they are beyond words that I never thought I would have in my life. So I'm very lucky to have this character worked out and how people have believed in me with this character, and as my in ring ability as well. Like people are trusting me with my in ring ability a lot, and it's just very cool to be somebody that's relied on and trusted like this because that's the dream and that's what I want.
I'm curious because you mentioned, potentially creating your own energy
Mm.
drink flavor without giving too much away on what you're thinking. Is it like a sweet, a fruity kind?
Yep. Okay, so I've been asked this a little bit. I've been asked this a
Okay.
few times. I gave 2 answers.
Okay.
One, red velvet cupcake. I love that flavor, and I would say red apple delicious, sour apple, and dragon fruit all in one.
Ooh, okay. I'm so curious about the red velvet because I mean it'd be I love carbonated stuff, so I'm just like trying to think of what that would taste like.
Well, I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a little hint. If you try G Fuel blueberry muffin,
Oh,
it's like very hard to find, but they have it.
yeah.
You taste the cake of the muffin, not so
Yes.
much the blueberry. That's
Yes.
kind of the idea I'm going
Okay.
with. The way you taste the cake.
Okay. Mm. I'm so curious as to what
Yeah, it's
that
really
would
good.
of how that I mean, they gotta let you create your own flavor at some
I
point,
hope so.
Or
I hope so.
maybe you just gotta experiment yourself. I don't know how that works, creating your own flavor, but it's a
I'm
little
learning.
science experiment.
Hmm. Definitely learning.
And also we need to get hashtag John Cena X Vinny Pacifico trending on Twitter so you guys can do a promo together. I'm
Yes,
just
it'd be
saying. So
amazing. Hell yeah. No, you're a
hello.
genius. Yes.
Before we
ASAP.
let you go, can you please share where the listeners can find you online?
Yes. Twitter, Vinny Pacifico 1. Instagram, Vinny Pacifico. Facebook, Vinny Pacifico, and TikTok, which I'm not very active on. I gotta do more, Vinny Pacifico. But Twitter's number one, where I post all my stuff at. Um, Food, wrestling, promos, energy drinks, family fun, everything I post on my Twitter and my Instagram. But those are my favorite ones.
Maybe he'll share more hidden gems too. You know, maybe he was wanted to be more than a florist. Maybe he has some marine
Yes.
biology stuff.
Oh,
I don't,
sharks.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, Vinny, thank you so much for chatting with me here today. It's been an absolute pleasure to
Hell
be
yeah.
you are technically my first interview recorded in 2024, so thank you so much.
It's an honor. Thank you very much for having me.